Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me live. If you are here live, hello in the chat. If you're watching the replay, thank you so much for watching the replay. I'm so excited to get to some questions tonight. Hello, I already see so many hellos in the chat. Thank you all so much for joining. Let's start with our first question. What is it that you're drinking? And if you're watching the replay, let us know down in the comments as well what you're drinking. I am having some tea. I have some raspberry tea with some honey in it, but I also have my water close by because I am not done with my water yet today. I'm actually very behind. I may not even get through all of my water. If I do, it probably won't end well. All right, let's see. Water with a sad face. Haley, that's not a bad thing. Water's magical. You guys, water can improve so many things. Like drinking the right amount of water can make such a difference in so many ways. So no sad faces with water. Look at all this water. Look at all this water. Oh my gosh. Everybody is enjoying some delicious H2O today. We all need some extra water. It also got really warm here today in New York. I don't know if anyone else is having some crazy weather changes where they're at, but it got very warm today. And so I also feel dehydrated from that respect, whatever I'm trying to say there. It's just kind of all over the place. So hello, so much water. All right, well, while we all drink our water and get our hydration and get all of that caught up, let me know what questions you have. I don't have any announcements. Usually I have like one announcement at the beginning, but I don't really have anything to announce. So whatever questions you have, whatever you want to chat about, I'm here to chat about them. Okay, same in Indiana with the weather. Yeah, well, 86 up in Albany. I feel like Albany, usually somewhat similar. Well, I guess that's probably not true in the winter. It's probably much colder up there. How amazing was Kendra's live today? Oh my gosh. I mean, y'all know how much I love Kendra from The Lazy Genius. I just love her. And she had a live session today in Wild University, and it was just everything. Every time she talks, I walk away learning something. So again, even if you just consume her free content by listening to her podcast or following her on Instagram, highly recommend. Oh, you guys are getting lots of rain down there. That's good though. You guys probably need the rain. I feel like San Antonio is always like, doesn't have enough rain going on. Yeah, Amanda, what's cooler in Texas though? Like, what is cooler? Do I bullet journal? Diane, I do not. I have tried it a couple of times. I have like maybe 4 videos on bullet journaling here on my channel. If you scroll way back into the archives, it just doesn't work for me for a couple of reasons. One, I can try all the time in the world to use a bound journal, but for most things, there's like one journal I use regularly, which is my gratitude journal. Otherwise, I need it to be spiral. I need a spiral. And most bullet journals, I know I could get a bullet journal with a spiral, but when I tried it with a bound bullet journal. I also just struggle a lot with it being perfect. And when I mess up and then I don't use it and it just is a mess. So I just have never really been able to get into bullet journaling. It's just not for me, but there are so many people who do it and so many YouTube videos about it. It's endless. Elizabeth, how am I liking the standing desk converter? You know, I love it for right now because I can lift you up just slightly so that we are eye level. If you watched any of my vlogs back in the old apartment, I used to stick my laptop under a yoga block so that it would be at the right height so that we're looking at each other in the eyes. So it's perfect that I can just lift it up a little bit for that. In terms of actually standing, I have used it like maybe twice. Maybe I should make that a June goal. There should be like stand for, even if it's just something small, or start small, 15 minutes a day, make it a daily goal to stand at my standing desk. I think that's a good idea. Oh, Michelle, I recently picked up the Carrie L meal planner. How are you using yours? I have not been doing a good job of using mine. It feels like we've just had a lot going on and we've been eating out a lot. Like it's more like social things. It feels like once everybody got, like our friend group got fully vaccinated here, it was like let's have dinner, let's have dinner, let's have dinner. It feels like we're trying to see everybody that we haven't seen in person in over a year. We're trying to see them all. And so it feels like I've only really been planning like 3 meals a week or so the past couple of weeks. So I feel like I haven't wanted to waste my meal planner only planning those couple of meals. And they're just like, it's so much easier to keep them in my head. Like I pick the 3 meals, I make the grocery list, I buy the groceries. I just don't feel the need to write them down. But the couple of times I have used it, what I've done is I've just made a plan for the dinners and I don't fill in the circle where you could put the day of the week. I just checked it off. I use that circle as a check when I actually make that meal. And that has worked well for me. And then the column section over on the right, I showed this in a vlog. I'll see if I can dig up the link after this is over. But in the column section over on the right, instead of using it for a grocery list, I used it as what I needed to prep for the meal that week. Whether I could prep that on Sunday or whether I could prep that during lunch, I use that section for like the prep things. So that it does work well. And once I think this initial rush of like a ton of social commitments kind of breaks through, I think, and I'm going back to planning like 5 meals a week, I will go back to using it regularly. 70s, right? That's chilly in San Antonio, Texas. Oh, Laura, that's super fun. I'm not a big baseball fan. So honestly, like that, but that's like, those are 2 fun teams. So I love that you are multitasking. Jersey, you're having fruit salad. What did I have for dinner? So I don't eat dinner until after the live is over. I mean, it's only 6 o'clock here. And so I will wait till it's over. One of the things I've been trying to do is do crock pot meals on Wednesdays. That way, when the live is over, dinner's already done and we just eat at 7 instead of like me having to cook. For a while, I was doing like shorter meals, like a 15-minute meal on Wednesdays. But even that, it's still effort. By the time I like finish the live and get out of here and go to the kitchen and get it set up, we're still not eating until like 7:30. And that's not that bad, but I don't like to eat that close to bedtime. I really would rather eat much earlier. So on Wednesdays, crockpot meal. So what we have in the crockpot is corn chicken chowder. Y'all are going to be so surprised. I know. The person I got the idea from is Jessica Braun, like the one beauty YouTuber that I am obsessed with. She has talked about this crockpot recipe before. I altered it slightly. I will let you know how that goes. If it goes well, I will link it and share it in a video and a vlog somewhere. But I'm not ready to share it yet. I mean, I can share the link. I'm not going to share what I changed. I'll share the link with you. Yes, Mallory, I did try to start some kind of standing goal when I was in the office. Never really worked well then either. Oh, of course. Y'all, I am here to answer questions about stuff I've talked about in the past. If I show you a product, I show you a link, class, course, book, product, anything, please always feel free to ask me afterwards how it's going. I don't remember to share the follow-ups of how things are going, but I'm happy to answer about them. I still recommend this if you want to be a regular standing desk person. I also still like having like this section of my desk is like the workstation, because with the exception of this live, if I'm doing work for Plan with Laken, why did I put that in quotes? It's work. For Plan with Laken, I'm faced this way and my laptop stays down here on the ground. This is like where I do my full-time job. And so I still like having my monitor and this is my workspace. I just haven't been good about standing. Oh, I lost my spot. Oh, here we go. Do you still use a planner to track your books? If so, I would love to see how you use it. I typically track in a notebook. Jacqueline, no. That is one of those things that I set up at the beginning of the year and I have not been using it for tracking purposes. I thought it would be fun. I thought it would encourage me to read more. And honestly, it just felt like another thing I needed to do. I'm still using that particular journal as a note-taking journal for my reading. Like I'm not wasting all the notes pages in that planner, but the actual calendar pages where I was going to track what I was reading every single day, nope, I'm not using that section of the planner anymore. And I still have all the books that I listed in the back, but honestly, that's also not a big priority for me anymore. I have fully converted myself to a Goodreads user, and I feel really good about having all of my book lists, like to read lists in Goodreads, and that planner has really just become a notebook for notes that I take when I read books. Hi, Jersey. How many languages do you speak or have you learned? Really, English. I speak English, and I am, I don't know, maybe 50 to 75% okay with Spanish. I mean, I took Spanish all the way through college. I took it for 2 years in college too. So I was by that point, having taken it my whole life, because in San Antonio, I started with Spanish when I was in preschool, and then I took it until I was 20. And so at that point, I was like, I felt like I was pretty good with Spanish. I went to Costa Rica when I was 19, and I like could carry a conversation with everybody. Like it was great. Obviously, like you lose your skills very quickly with foreign languages. But I do think if I ever wanted to get back into it, it wouldn't be like starting from scratch, getting to be decent at Spanish. But that's about it. That is the extent of my languages. And then you've got my fiance who speaks like 4, and it's very impressive. Oh, Amanda, this is a good question. Are you tracking your 30 and 30s anywhere? No, I am not. I'll probably just like, as long as I have a YouTube channel, I'll probably check in with it once a year. Like maybe on my birthday, just kind of share which ones of the 30 I've done in like a vlog or I don't think it really needs to be its own video, but just something to share. But I don't have it written down anywhere. Even where I prepped it for that video, I don't even think I saved that. So like, because it was in a Google Doc, I think I deleted it. So you would know. So I think I deleted it. So it's in that video. That is the only place it is living right now. Sarah, this is an interesting question. Any tips for using an hourly layout when you don't need the hours but like the space? I'm a stay-at-home mom who doesn't have meetings to schedule. So first off, that is why I love my plum paper daily that doesn't have hours, because unless I am at work, like working my 9-to-5 job, and I have things on scheduled times, I like not being bound to hours, because then when things take more time or less time, I don't get like frazzled that I'm not following the plan that I set. I used to be somebody, especially, I mean, I share this a lot on Instagram for years. On the weekends, I would plan out my hours by the hour, and it was just too much. That is not the best way for me and my mental health and even my productivity. It just does not work the best. So to the extent that you can, if you're like that, if you're like me and generally mapping things out in your day around the hours doesn't help you, because then if you don't stick to those hours, it overwhelms you, then I would maybe try like whiting them out, or like putting a thing of washi over it, or like cutting a sticky note the right spot to cover it every day or something like that, so you don't have to look at those hours, but you still get the space broken down. My other idea or suggestion would be to use the mindset that Jordan Page talks about with block scheduling. So the way you should watch this, no, not should. If you are interested, I will link the video below where she talks about time blocking, not time blocking, block scheduling. It's very different. Where she breaks her day up into blocks, and then she has tasks she needs to do in each of those blocks. And then when that block is over, she moves on to the next one. You could do that, like take a highlighter or marker or pen and draw little blocks around the times, and then do her block method. I don't know if that really helped you at all. I would watch her video and then convert your planner to help you with that, if that makes sense. Hi, Brandy. No need to apologize for not knowing the answers to any of the questions. Yeah, I no longer work with Erin Condren, the brand, so that's why I don't have any new videos. I did for years, and that is old videos. I'm not planning to take them down, but I do not work with Erin Condren, the brand, anymore. Will your upcoming course be similar or different from the last course? Heidi, with the exception of some upgrades from based on feedback that I got from the last version, it's the same course. So if you took the last one, there is no need to take this one. There's just going to be some slight changes. I'm putting some of the Q&A time on the actual module time. So there's less Q&A sessions, and the actual module sessions are going to be longer. So there's kind of that like functionality setup, but the general course content is exactly the same. What am I currently reading? Amanda, I just shared this on Instagram, actually. I am reading Fly Away, which is the sequel to Firefly Lane. Great show on Netflix. Netflix is all right. And I just finished the book yesterday, so I started the sequel today. And then my nonfiction books that I'm reading, I'm always reading more than one, let's be honest. I'm reading The Naked Truth, which is a book about like alcohol information, it's very scientific. And then The Gifts of Imperfection by Brene Brown. Hi, Lynn. I am so glad that you signed up. You were the first name to come through when the waitlist email went out today. So I'm so excited. And thank you. I love this water bottle too. Somebody messaged me the other day on Instagram actually and said that they left it out for 12 hours and it still had ice in it. Like, this baby keeps things cold. It's awesome. So it's linked below if you are interested in the water cup. Ooh, Alexis, how do you decide what tasks get entered as an event on your Google Cal, or what do you do as the process otherwise? So if it is something that is going to take more than, I would say, 15 minutes, it gets entered into my Google Cal. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll block like an hour in my Google Cal and say like Plan with Laken stuff. And then I have a separate list of to-do list of Plan with Laken stuff that I go pull from, and that gets put into my daily planner. But when it comes to like some goal stuff, anything really, for sure, if it's 30 minutes, it's going in my Google Cal. And I have everything, every single thing in my Google Cal is in there, with the exception of sleep. And then like what I call white space. So when there's like rest and white space, which I don't know, it helps me to just see, I can glance at a week and see how I'm going to feel, because I can see how much white space there is. Do I have any favorite restaurant recommendations for someone visiting NYC? I mean, I have tons. Like, our food is really great here. It's tough for me to just give general New York City recommendations, like just generic. I do have a video, which I will link below, that has my like tips for visiting NYC and kind of some apps to download, things to do, how to get discount tickets, etc. If I've mentioned this before, but if you ever want like specific recommendations, like the best museum, the best building to go to the top of, the best Italian restaurant, like those kinds of things, send me a message and I am happy to respond. It is really tough when I get messages that are just like, I'm coming to visit, what should I do? And everybody is so different. Everybody's preferences when they travel are so different that it's such a big city and there's so many things to do. I feel like it's just really hard to give those kind of overarching recommendations. But if you have specific questions or requests, I am happy to answer those. Heidi, I do share my Goodreads account with the public. It is under my like name. So it is Laken Edwards, not Plan with Laken. So that might be why you couldn't find me. You are happy to find me and follow me on Goodreads. I don't know how to change it because I signed up through Facebook. So it's not Plan with Laken. And I don't want to transfer all my books. Michelle, I saw on your plan with me that you have a weekly to-do list made. Do you do this every week? Yes, I do this every week. I usually start it like middle of the day Friday. And this has helped me a lot with not oversaturating my weekends. So usually towards the end of the day, for like middle to the end of the day Friday, I will actually start that to-do list for the following week. That way, as I think of things over the weekend, I just jot them down. And then, I can finish brain dumping whenever I usually don't do it till Monday morning when I plan for the week is when I will finish that out. But I will start adding to it starting Friday. That's a really great point, Sarah. Yeah, that if something gets scheduled later in the day, it's in the right spot, which makes sense. How long are the Accelerate Your Goal sessions? So the main sessions are going to be 90 minutes. So an hour of teaching the content, because that's how long it took me. Except mindset, I went over a little bit last time. So I need to like either cut a story or two or just know that it's going to go over a little bit. But an hour for teaching and 30 minutes for Q&A every single session. And then there's 2 additional 1-hour Q&A sessions. Ashley, hello. I'm so glad that you're able to join. I know 3 o'clock in the afternoon is probably not ideal for someone to join live from over there. Great question, Nicola. Do I still get the Fabfitfun boxes and what I recommend? So I currently do not get the Fabfitfun boxes. I do recommend them if they are something that you are interested in. They're always a great value. I 100% believe that it's a great product, great company. They have since like reduced some of their packaging so that it's more like environmentally friendly and all of those things. The reason that I sort of cut back is I felt like I was getting either repeat things or things I would use, but I wasn't super excited about it. And so the value of the box just wasn't worth it for me anymore, because even though I was getting all this, let's say skincare products or makeup or anything where it was like I was getting a really good deal, I think I would rather just go buy the stuff I want to use. And I ended up having so many products that I just had to work through that it became too much for me. Also, I'm trying to have less stuff. Leading up to moving and all of the different places we lived in last year, I was just like, I think I need a break from having that many products just come into my life, like objects every single quarter. But it is a really great value. So if those things that I said don't feel like, if you're not super picky on what skincare products you're using, it's a really good value. So I hope that helps. Do I have a running to-do list in Google? I do not. Over the course of the week, I'll just add to that weekly to-do list that I talked about in my plan with me. Or I add it to my Google Doc as an event, or I have a running plan with Laken to-do list that's on the notes page of my Plum Paper planner, like the monthly notes page. Oh, Heather, this is a great question. If you were starting your channel today, what advice would you give yourself? Whew. It would probably be something along the lines of, you're not ever going to please everybody. Like any time that you change something about your planning style or the videos that you create or whatever it is, you're never going to please everybody. And so don't try to please everybody, and just do what feels right to you. Have I watched Outlander? I have not, Rachel. I tried to get into it when it first came out. I have a couple friends that live here that really love it and read the books. And so I watched, they had like a whole like launch party when it came out. And so I watched the first like 3 episodes with them, and I just could not get into it. Thank you, Ashley. AYG is the name of the course, which is Accelerate Your Goals, that you are now, well, if you were on the wait list, you got the email with the link today. Everybody else, the link will be live tomorrow for you to sign up if you want to join our course. I'll make sure to leave the live link in the description box. So if you're watching this video after the waitlist link is done and then the everybody link goes live tomorrow, you can sign up. Great question. Has your planning style changed throughout the years? 100%. In so many ways. Like if I look back to how I used to plan, I had a to-do list sticker with 8 to-do list items on every single day of the week, Saturday and Sunday included. And while I didn't always fill up that to-do list sticker every single day, I way overcommitted myself by planning that way. I used to use a ton of stickers. Like I would cover up the whole page. I went from not using weekly kits ever to using weekly kits. And then I went from that to-do list method to almost hourly planning, but not in an hourly format, because I was working a 9-to-5 job. And then I switched to daily planning. And then I was doing weekly and daily. And then I switched to Google Calendar. And then I dropped the weekly. And now I just do Google Cal and daily. And yeah, just crazy. There's 100 Lakens on Goodreads. But even if you put Laken Edwards, I can add the link in the description box after the video goes live. I feel like there can't possibly be a ton of Laken Edwards on Google. I saw on Instagram that I'm going back to the office. I am not. It is optional still. It is just, they said, if you would like to, we are opening the office for people to return. I am opting out of that decision. I'm not ready to go back. I'll go back when they tell me I have to go back. Then I will go back to the office. Yeah. Oh my gosh, Amanda, I was watching an old video and you mentioned a piano bar you love near your old apartment. Can you tell me what a piano bar is other than a bar with a piano player, or is that all that it is? Because that is all that it is, but it's so fun. Like everybody sings along and you can make requests. And the amazing thing about this piano bar is that the waitress and the two bartenders are also incredibly talented and will come up and do little sets where they will sing for like a song or two or three, and then they'll go back to their job. And it's this little dive bar on like a side street, and it is just it's my favorite bar in the city. And I am sad that it is no longer within walking distance, and I will still go back, but it's more of a like I'm planning that's what I'm going to do that night. Whereas there were plenty of nights where it was just like, oh my gosh, let's just go to Brandy's because I just want to go, and it's close to the apartment. So I am definitely very sad that we're no longer as close, but it's amazing. Rachel, is your content available forever? Do they expire? No, they do not expire. So those links that you have from the first round will always be there and you can always access them. Do you get overwhelmed when doing your to-do list, Diane? I do not. And here's why. I have learned that it is better out of my head than the paper doesn't stress me out. The paper doesn't overwhelm me because it's out of my head. If it's in my head, it overwhelms me. If it's on paper, it's not overwhelming anymore. And the other thing that I have learned and done is that anything that is 100% like a priority, it has to get done, that gets scheduled in my Google Cal. So the things that have to get done, that's going in the Google Cal, and it will get done because it's scheduled. The things on the to-do list are things that I want to do and things that I will eventually find time for. But if it doesn't happen that day, that week, it's okay. And like even things like installing the air conditioner in this office has been on my to-do list for a while since it came in the mail. And I kept putting it off because it just wasn't a priority. And then today it was a priority. So during lunch, I was like, Sam, get in here. We are installing this air conditioner because I am dying. I need an air conditioner in here. And so it's just, I don't know, that's just kind of my mindset, how I think about it. What do I think about the Friends reunion? Sarah, I just watched like that initial brief, what's the word? Trailer. I haven't watched the new one that's a little bit longer that came out today or yesterday. I don't know. I'm going to watch it because I love Friends and I've watched all the Friends episodes so many times, but I don't really have any super like strong feelings one way or the other. I'm sure I will after I watch it. What is your favorite goal of 2021 that you have achieved? Jersey, that's a fun question. Honestly, it's been moving, finding this apartment, like finding an apartment that we love and moving into an apartment that we love and pretty much becoming fully settled in an apartment that we love. And it's just that has been the best part of 2021 so far. Oh my gosh, everybody in the chat is talking about the Outlander books. I've never actually tried to read the books, but I couldn't get into the show, so I figured then I probably can't get into the books. I feel like I also couldn't get into Lord of the Rings, if that like helps give you my like sense. I read The Hobbit, and that's the only one I've read. I couldn't get into the other ones. Will I be joining the Cultivate What Matters track options? Alexis, if you mean I'm attending as an attendee, I have signed up for the second one. Obviously, the first one where you work through your prep work, I don't need that. So I signed up for the second track for the Cultivate What Matters event. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll leave it linked, like more information down below. They're doing an event in June, the last week of June, to help you prepare for the second half of the year. It's a half-day event, and there's two options. The morning option is sorry, that car horn distracted me. The morning option is I am brand new to Power Sheets and I haven't done my prep work yet. The afternoon option is I've already done all my prep work for 2021 and I just need some help jumpstarting and working on my goals. And they're each a half day. And so I have signed up for the afternoon one. Which reminds me I need to put in for a half a day vacation day for that day. So thank you for that reminder. Oh, Heidi, I'm so glad that you found. No apologies necessary. I'll still link it below just in case anybody who watches afterwards needs to find me. I don't know why Google or Goodreads searching is so difficult. Where do I list someday tasks? Alexis, that's a great question. Honestly, for most things in my life, I don't have a lot of someday tasks. The only category that has these is my business. Planet with Laken has a lot of someday tasks because there's only so many hours in a week and I can't do all those things right now. But everything else, either I realize is not a priority for this time because it's not my, if it doesn't fall into my goals, so let me rewind. If it falls into a goal category, it goes on the goal ideas list, which is in an app on my iPad, like a notes app on my iPad. If it doesn't fall into one of my goals category and it's not Playing with Laken, so it can't go in that place, which I have all saved in Asana. It's like one of the two things I use Asana for. Not an expert. I'm not using it as a project management system. It's just a list storage place. There really are no other someday tasks that I store. Oh my gosh, Rachel, I couldn't get through Game of Thrones either. And I love the show, but I could not get through the books. Monica, I answered this question a little bit earlier. Not until they make me. Then I will go to the office. Amy, what are some of your favorite YouTube videos that you've done? That's a fun question. I loved the series that I did 2 years ago? At the Chicago Planner Conference, I decided that I was going to sit down with like all of my good friends in the planning community and like interview them about something in their lives. And so I managed to schedule around a 2-day conference, 6 or 7 different sessions. My friend Brooke, we talked all about wellness because that's her area of expertise. Kayla, we talked about being on YouTube. Sam Kerr, we talked about travel. I did one with Nina about like productivity and to-do lists. I did one with Jen Ross from Share with Wonder. I almost said pretty neat living, all about her like one little word project. And then I did one with Kristen from Chrissy Designs about like the day in the life of a sticker shop owner. And I just loved those. Like, I felt like it was so much fun. And I just got to introduce y'all to somebody that I admire and have them share their expertise. And I just love them. So let's talk Go Wild 2022. So I am still undecided. It's the weekend before my wedding. So I am not sure if I'm going to be making it to Go Wild. Oops. I answered this question a little bit earlier, Janie. I don't really have any feelings. I'm going to watch it. I don't know. We'll see. Oh my gosh, Haley, I like squealed. I'm obsessed with her. Obsessed. Like she is like on my top list of people I need to meet in person. That's someday. Rachel, do you think you could film a reading routine? Like your steps after you finish a book, updating your reading journal, Goodreads, give a review, etc. I can maybe stick it in a vlog. It's really not that extensive. I update Goodreads usually Monday mornings. When I do my morning routine, I will update all of my Goodreads progress on Monday morning. Sometimes whatever fiction book I'm reading, I will update it through the week. If you follow me on Goodreads, you know this. Like sometimes I update it randomly through the week, but most of the like nonfiction books that I read, I update Mondays. And then when I finish it, I just do the review right then. I'm not good about doing like a review with words. Like I give it a rating always, but I'm not good at doing a review with words. And then the notes, I am way behind on. Like I just did the Lazy Genius Way notes in my journal. Like I'm way behind. So that might even be a goal for Q3 is that I update and get caught up on all my reading notes. Oh yes, Heather, I also did one with Cindy, but that one was at a different conference. And that one was before, I think it was before all of those. That one was in January and these were all in like February, March. Well, I released them in March. But I do love the one that I did with Cindy. That one's a little bit spicy. That's the word I would use. What do you do when you are unmotivated to do anything productive? I feel like taking a break, but you've been taking a break a lot longer. So yes, taking a break is productive. Rest is productive. Sometimes you just need that and your body just needs that day. When it's time to get back into it, Two things. I pick one goal that I was good at before I took my break. So what was I doing consistently and regularly before I took my break? And can I jump back in with that? And then number two is how can I make that small? How can I make that goal, that step so small that it's silly for me not to do it? And basically I say, like, you don't have to do anything else, but you have to do this 5-minute thing tomorrow. And that usually gets me back into it. Also, I just noticed, though, like, for those, not many people watch on Facebook, but this is also live on Facebook in addition to YouTube. And I can see the reactions. Oh, they're in this corner from Facebook. And somebody gave me an angry face. And I don't know why. Like, I don't know what I said that could have made someone angry. So weird. Okay. Have I watched Sweet Magnolias on Netflix? I have not. I forget who talked to me about that and told me I need to watch it, but I haven't yet. I'm taking 800 years to get through The Nanny, so maybe after that. Because it does seem like one that Sam's not going to want to watch with me. What is my favorite Cheetah Girl song? Emily, this is the best question I've ever got. That's the best question. It is The Party's Just Begun. That is my favorite Cheetah Girl song. I love that question. Alexis, have I added any new routines and routinery? Well, I don't remember the last time we talked about this or if I told you, but I'm trying a new, like, I think it might be in this week's weekly vlog or daily vlog that I talk about it. I have a new, like, morning routine part 2 that I'm trying that's got, like, workout, shower, eat breakfast, make my bed, brush my teeth. Like, it's all things that I'm, like, probably going to get done, but it's kind of just like a little checklist at the end. And I don't always worry about the times. But that's the only one that I've added in. Heather, I have mentioned this quite a few times, but right now it is a volunteer only basis. And I am not volunteering, I distribute. I don't really have any special way that I take notes. I highlight as I go, or I put a sticky note, like a little tiny sticky note if it's a library book. And then when I'm done, I go through and, like, write all of the things that I highlighted in order. I'll show you I'll just show you a page or a piece of a page. I don't feel comfortable showing, like, a whole thing because, like, that's the author's work and you should either, like, find a way to, but like this. So these are things that I highlighted in Untamed, and then I just put them in the notebook. That's all I do. It's not fancy. Nicola, I've totally fallen off the wagon with the lose weight goal and I can't seem to get back on it. I would say the same thing as Dahlia. I would pick one thing, and even if it's not one thing that you were doing consistently, I would just pick one piece of it. Water, eating a vegetable, moving for 5 minutes, and I would make it so small that you can't, like, it feels silly to not do it. Something so small that you can't tell yourself no, and just start with that one thing. And it might not feel like that one small thing is making a difference. And I'll tell you that it does, but that's fine. You can tell me that it doesn't, and I'll say, that's great. That's not the point. The point isn't that this one thing is going to make a huge difference. The point is that it's going to get you started and it's going to create the momentum. And once you create the momentum of doing that one small thing, it becomes so much easier for you to either add more time, add more vegetables, add more tracking, add more water, whatever it is. So start very small. 2 glasses of water, 5 minutes of movement, like walking around your house, like circle your house. If you live in a house, circle the block. If you live in a city, that kind of small. Emily, also a great choice. I also do love that song. Amanda, you're too old for the Cheetah Girls. Oh my gosh. It's a Disney Channel original movie. They're all on Disney Plus, 1, 2, and 3. Highly recommend. What was your favorite Disney Channel original movie? So I am a sucker. Besides, I do love the Cheetah Girls, and they're probably, like, top 3. Xenon Girl of the 21st Century. I legit thought that's what our lives were going to be like. Like, we were going to be living in space, and I was going to be wearing those cute clothes and have her cute space buns. Yeah, Xenon. How is my new health planner going? Becca, to be determined. I'm kind of in limbo right now. Started reading Rachel's comment before I clicked on. If you found a time machine, what would be the first date you put in? Are you a past or future kind of person? Well, Rachel, if this is going to be very sappy, if I get to take Sam with me in my time machine, we're going back because he never got to meet my Mima. And that is one of my biggest regret is the wrong word. Because she was sick. I mean, she had cancer and we did not make it a priority for him to meet her for the first. She passed 8 months after we met. And we didn't make it a priority and they never got to meet. And that makes me very sad. And then same thing with his grandmother, his Nana, who I've heard is very similar to my Mima. She passed 2 months later. And I never got to meet her. And so we go back in time and I would get the 4 of us together and it would be amazing. So I'm going to sip my tea now. Zetas Labetas. I'm out of shows. I think, Haley, that's what you meant, shows. I literally just watched One Tree Hill and Dawson's Creek. The Nanny on HBO, if you have HBO, or if you haven't watched The Nanny. Superstore on Hulu, if you haven't watched that, because it's great. Those are the things I'm watching now that I will recommend to you. Did I like Hannah Montana? Diana, yes. I also loved Hannah Montana. I also have rewatched it on Disney Plus since it came out on Disney Plus. Not the whole, I didn't watch the whole show, but I've watched episodes of it. If I'm not watching a current show, I will go back and watch some Hannah Montana. And I click on Disney Plus and none of the movies excite me. Yes, that's exactly how it went. Oh my gosh. I love Xenon. That makes me so happy. I love all those Disney Channel original movies. Sorry, I know. I didn't mean to be so sappy. I definitely don't want to go to the future yet. I'm not ready. I'm excited for the future, but I don't need to go to the future yet. I don't need to know. Yeah, it makes me sad, Mallory. But what is important and what worked out is my mom was able to meet him. And then she reported back and told my Mima that she approved of Sam. Oh my gosh, I know. I've also watched Lizzie McGuire movie. That I don't really know if that counts as a Disney Channel original movie, but man, did I love me some. I still have never been to Rome, but that movie made me want to go to Rome so badly. Monica, probably not because there's still a couple things I'm waiting on. And I mean, you can see some of it in the vlogs, but there's still a couple pieces of my office that I'm waiting on and working on. Once that's done, then I can do a complete office tour. I'm so ready for the future. Yeah, but I guess when you say go to the future, I would then come back and live in the real time, right? I'm just going to the future for a moment. I don't want to know what's going on. I don't want to know what my life turns out. I don't want to know those things. I just want to live my life. But if you mean go there and stay there, yes, I would rather go to the future than go to the past. You are not old. Old is relative, and Disney is, you're never too old for Disney. I don't care how ridiculous people are stop loving Disney. I'm I don't care. Yeah, I don't know if it really counted. I don't know if the Lizzie McGuire movie was, I think it was a legit movie, not a Disney Channel original movie, because I had it on VHS tape. I'm going to the future and never looking back. That's funny, Rachel. That's funny. Oh my gosh. I feel like this is we got into this crazy world of Disney movies and time machines. Any other questions you have about, these are fun questions, so please keep asking them. My tea is very cold at this point. It's not even tea, but it's very warm in here. I turned off the air conditioner for the live because it was very loud, but now it's hot in here. And so the cold tea is kind of nice. I don't hate it. It's not too bad. I also have cold water, so. Serena, I hope I'm saying that right. I'm starting a new hobby, trail running. That's amazing. And I'm searching for a pair of trail running shoes. I want to get started now, but also feel like I can't start until I have the right equipment. Oh, I feel that. That is a very common thing that I have heard a lot of people say. I try to think of the right equipment as the timing. Like it'll never be right. Like it'll never be perfect. If you wait until the perfect time to do anything, it'll never happen because it'll never be perfect. So just get started. And if anything, one of two things, either just put a date on the calendar that you're going to go get your trail shoes and just start tomorrow, whenever you can make it to the trail, but know that you're going to buy them at some point in the future, or make them a reward. You go 5 times and then you get to go get the shoes. Jennifer, how do you create the courage to do the scary goals? Created your mercy. You mean my merch? I'm assuming that's what you meant. You find that's what's stopping you. So I talk about this a little bit in the mindset, and by a little bit, I mean a lot of it, in the mindset section of my course. And really, fear comes from 2 places. It's either the fear of success or the fear of failure. So try and figure out which one of those you're feeling. Are you scared that you're going to succeed and get everything you ever want? Or you are scared that it's going to fail. And then in both scenarios, well, really in fear of failure, define what is failure? What is the worst case scenario? So like for me, the worst case scenario would be that I bought all this merch, I paid all this money for it, and nobody bought it. Okay, well, what does that mean? I'm out this amount of money. Okay, well, I mean, at the end of the day, like money is money and I can always make more money. Like just play out kind of that worst case scenario. If it's fear of success, define what success is, because likely you're defining success as this like Olympic level success. And truthfully, we just need to kind of redefine not that I don't mean like lower your expectations, but just define what success really means for you and know that that's really actually attainable for you. And that will help you keep going. Then find the next step and do that one. You don't have to worry about the whole staircase. I know it's scary. The top, it's very scary up there. Worry about the first step. For me, the merch was reaching out to my friends, Alex and Kayla, and telling them that I wanted to do it. Actually, I drunkenly told them in person in November. And then the next scary step was actually scheduling a meeting with them, like very in the moment, seriously. Would I ever get Charlie a cat friend? Yeah. So the 2 things behind not getting Charlie a cat friend. One is I really would love to have the litter box have its own bathroom that it lives in all the time and not in our bathroom or in my office. That's where it lives now. If we have 2 cats, like I really don't want to have more than 1 cat and not have the litter box have its own space. That's the biggest one that's holding us back. Sam said he almost got me a kitten for my birthday. So we almost had a cat friend. The other thing is I know that we'll be moving in the somewhat near future, not immediately, but not decades. And so are we really just getting another cat to just like then pick it up and move it somewhere by the time it finally felt settled? And it's just like, I know Charlie's great in the car now. So I'm like, all that fear with moving with her is out the window and I feel great about that. And so like, I think it's maybe a wait and see. Do you have ideas for self-care when life is too much, i.e. work is difficult or while moving? I hope that makes sense. So Sarah, for me, self-care is going to be different than what it is for you. Self-care is going to be different for everybody. And so what I want you to think about is what self-care looks like for you. And it's things that make you feel relaxed. So think about, when do you feel the most relaxed? It's things like you're not thinking about all those things. Like, what are you doing when you're not thinking about those things? Next is, what are you doing when you feel like yourself? Those are kind of the 2 questions that I would ask myself to figure out what is self-care for me. Then break it down into things that take less time so that you can fit it into things like that. Because when life is too much, the problem is we don't feel like we have time for self-care because we think it needs to take hours, when in reality, it can take minutes. And so when you think about what self-care looks like for you and how can I make a 5-minute option of it, and then those are the things that I would schedule in. Haley, that's a great question. How does one find a hobby, just old interests to revamp? So yes, I think that is definitely an option. Old interest revamp. I think the number 1 way you find a hobby is you just try. You find some things. really, I learned this from the That Sounds Fun book. I was going to go grab it. It doesn't matter. The That Sounds Fun by Annie Downs. I love Annie Downs. I've mentioned her before. A lot of her stuff is very Christian based. So if you are not interested consuming content, books, podcasts, otherwise that is Christian based, then ignore me for a second. But her book called That Sounds Fun is about finding a hobby. And what she says is you just have to try. So does it sound like fun? Great. Give it a go and try it and then see if it becomes a hobby. Ooh, I have a break between my next accelerated semester of college. How can I relax for 2 weeks and then shift into work study mode? That's a tough one. I have never had that scenario. I mean, I'd almost feel like it's like going on vacation, right? So it's just, I've never taken a 2-week vacation. I'm only taking a 1 week, but you check out for 1 week and you focus on relaxing and taking care of you and what makes you happy. And then you get back into it by picking up those routines that you know work for you before said vacation. All this chat about hiking and running. Karen is the running queen. Karen, I don't know exactly the days, but it's 500 and something days in a row she has run. Like physically run for 500 something days in a row. She's amazing. That it blows my mind every time she says it. It's very, very amazing. Oh, your new hobby is a revamped version of you love hiking and you're trying a new perspective. That's really cool. That's really cool. 524. I mean, you're amazing. You're amazing. Do you think it's stupid to make a monthly favorites videos or quarterly favorites when you're new YouTube channels? Not at all, Rachel. 100%. I think it's totally fine. I did monthly favorites right at the very beginning. So 100%. Just respect you and yourself and know that your favorite style is going to change. So I think at first I just did whatever I felt like it was just generic. Then I switched to having a set number of favorites. And I was like, hey, I will only have this many favorites a month, and I did monthly favorites, and then I stopped doing them for a bit, and then I switched to quarterly with like the categories. So just know that just because you start it now, you can change your mind and change the format or change the frequency whenever you feel like it. I believe at this point I probably could go back to monthly favorites videos if people would enjoy them. I feel like I can fit it into my schedule. I feel like those categories like make it easy. Because sometimes I'm struggling like now to pick one book in the reading category. I feel like I could have done that monthly. So I think, I mean, just as with anything related to a YouTube channel, just know that what you pick now doesn't have to be forever, and you can always change your mind. But I don't think it's stupid to start now. I know, right, Elizabeth? It's amazing. She's amazing. My comments, I think, are a second behind because the last one I see is 6:51 and it is 6:53. So I don't know where the rest of the comments went. Oh, there we go. Yes, Heather, that's a great point. It's a good way for people to get to know you. Absolutely. Absolutely. I feel like I want to go watch my old favorites videos and see what I talked about and see if those things I still like. That could be a fun video. Like go back and rewatch my first like 10 or something and like comment on things that are still a favorite or things that aren't a favorite anymore. Because there are probably some things I talked about that I like changed my mind. I heard another YouTuber say that once where she was like, just because I said it was a favorite then doesn't mean it has to be my favorite forever. Like it was a favorite in that season of my life that I shared that video. So you can't come at me when I change my mind because I'm a human. I change my mind. Okay, you guys would watch that. All right. Awesome. Would you want me to go back to monthly favorites or do you like the quarterly favorites? If you're watching the replay, let me know and you've made it this far. First off, thank you. Let me know down in the comments. Quarterly, sticking with quarterly or switching to a monthly. I'm open either way. And telling my current self, YouTube self, you're not going to please everybody. Some people are going to tell me they want me to go back to monthly and some people are going to stick with quarterly. We're going to go with kind of whatever the majority feels like. But but I think I could go back to quarterly or to monthly. So can I do both? That feels like a bit much if I do both. I don't know. And if you don't care, it's fine. You don't have to have an opinion on anything, on everything. Isn't that a good quote? You don't have to have an opinion on everything. You can be in the middle. Also, my face is a little dark because it was really bright when we started and now it's kind of dark, sorry. Seems to be a lot of quarterly either way. Would watch either way. You'll have the best. All right, it is 6:55. So let's go to our final question. What is one thing that you are going to do this week to make progress on your goals? Amanda, they're not too difficult to edit. No, those are pretty easy to edit. I feel like those are probably some of the easier ones. Not like a vlog with lots of footage. What is one thing that you can do this week to make progress on your goals? Whether you are here live or you are watching the replay, let us know down in the comments. It doesn't have to be big. What is one thing that you can do this week to make progress on your goals? You're going to go for a walk. I love that, Elizabeth. I clicked on the wrong one. Making your weekly planning spread. I love it. Focus on your morning routine. Erin, I love that. Just remember, your morning routine is for you and nobody else. Who cares what the universe or society says your morning routine has to look like? It's about you and what makes you happy and what starts your day off on the right foot. Make a list of frozen meals before your baby is born. Ashley, I always love when you talk about your baby. Go to the gym. Yes. Eat 3 servings of fruits and vegetables every day. Do you mean 3 fruits and 3 vegetables? Because if you do, that is a lot. Unless right now you're doing 2 and 2 or even like 2 and 3. Or do you mean 3 of both combined? Because I'm going to applaud you if you get 3. I'd never get 3 servings of vegetables in, ever. Maintain and cultivate your to-do list. That's a good one. Study for your final exam. Good luck. Good luck. Get back to your daily pages and make that a priority. I love that, Karen. Link it to your run because you don't skip that. So do it before or after you go for a run. Habit stacking at its finest. Showing yourself that you can do hard and scary things. I love that. Setting up Goodreads, at least. So one of the things I also love about Goodreads, I was just listening to a podcast today while I was getting ready, and they recommended a book. And I didn't have to stop. Well, I mean, I stopped what I was doing, I guess, because I opened up Goodreads, but I didn't have to go find my journal, flip to the page. I just went to Goodreads. I looked up the book and I added it to my want to read list. It was great. Start small. Yes, Nicholas, start small. Ooh, an alone time session at a park or Starbucks. Oh my gosh. Why do I keep forgetting that we can go back to coffee shops now? Our Starbucks actually doesn't have inside seating yet. I don't know why. I'm not sure why we have, and the outside seating is always full, which is frustrating. Building your new furniture. Monthly 5 things to share. At least that's an interesting idea. Taking pictures for Instagram. Movie night with the hubby. I love that. Fruits or veggies. Yes, I misread it, Mallory. Fruits or veggies. You got this. You could do 3 of both. I support that. Pack early for the boys. Oh, packing. I am not looking forward to having to pack for other humans besides myself. What trip was it that I did pack for Sam? And it was like, we made a deal. This is very off topic. We were going somewhere. And if he did something, and I don't remember what the something was, I would pack for him. And I don't remember where we were going. I don't know if I would ever make that deal again. He must have been doing something really helpful. Love the favorites. Monthly would not make my like, that's fair. That's fair. Creating a virtual walk. Lisa, you've got this. I love this. Oh my gosh. This is a fair point. The 200th video of the same thing. Yes. You reorganize yourselves and getting ready for Pride. I'm so excited. I think that New York City is having the Pride Parade. I saw somewhere that they are not I don't. I'm pretty sure that's still happening, which I'm very excited about because that is one of my favorite weekends every year. So fun. Awesome. Y'all, you got this. You got this. Just do your one small thing make progress, and then just keep going. Keep doing it day after day after day, and you will see results. If you like this video, if you would give it a thumbs up before you head out, I would greatly appreciate that. And if you're new here, please click that subscribe button. I upload new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Have a great night.